This is how many people in society view the homeless. They are lost or broken, and who want to be on the streets. They are presented often in the media as lazy, incompetent, violent, drug and alcohol affected. They are all criminals, and for the most part males, who will never achieve much at all. The fact is, nearly half the homeless in Victoria are women. Many of the people who find themselves on the street have led extraordinary lives, worked in amazing places, travelled the world, run businesses and raised families, and simply found themselves at the end of a long line of circumstances they were unable to handle, where living on the street became their only option. Being homeless is tough. The pressures and stresses attached are relentless, taking their toll on everyone who spends time on the street.
I know, because I spent over 5 years living in my small van, for most of the time on the streets of Melbourne. Believe me, it was tough. The pressures of keeping my van on the road and trying to find safe places to park each night was relentless. As was the pressure of having to travel on public transport before having a shower in the morning while heading into a community centre so I could wash my clothes. Sometimes the travelling public aren't so understanding. It was tough, at times very tough, and other people have it even tougher. Like this poor bloke here. How's it going, mate?
Howdy, Trevor.
Yeah. You having a good day? Yeah. Alright, mate. Take it easy. The homeless need compassion and support. Anyone can become homeless, and some never make it off the streets. Since getting off the streets in mid-2013, I've become a freelance writer artist while studying. I was doing my Year 12 certificate, which I'd never done before. There was in fact 27 years between Year 11 and Year 12. But it was difficult. When I started, I was still living in my van on the streets. And it turned out I was a far better student as an adult than I ever was as a kid. Since getting off the streets, I've continued my studies to improve my employment opportunities into the future. Last year, during my first year at university, somewhere I never expected to get to, I had to produce a small doco. And this was about the homeless and some of the organisations that support them. This year I've also become a volunteer for the Council of Homeless Persons, advocating for those that are still on the streets. Now my second year at uni, I'm studying a Bachelor of Screen Media degree, and next semester I need to produce a 25-minute documentary. With a great group of friends and the various connections I have now, I'm already planning my next project, and again it will be about the homeless and those important organisations that support them. And this is where it'll all be put together. Now that I'm off the streets and I've got somewhere to study, I've been able to set this small office area up. Unfortunately, I need some support to produce this documentary, which of course will be filmed on the streets of Melbourne, Australia. This will be done hopefully in July and August during the wet weather, which is an important time because especially for those on the streets, during winter it can be really, really tough. When I was in my van and it rained, it was loud. When it hailed, it was nearly deafening. And other people who were sleeping in various areas, in the morning they're just wet. And a few of my friends who are going to be part of my crew, they've shown me where they had to live for a number of months. And it was really tough for them. I also need to hire a vehicle so that we can get around to all the locations, because unfortunately I don't have my van anymore. It was a bit sad when I had to get rid of it, and I wrote an article which was published in the Big Issue about losing what I called my friend. So I'm asking for your support, which will allow me to produce this documentary and showcase the homeless in a positive light, while also promoting some of the impressive organisations that allow these people to engage in positive activities instead of focusing on the tough reality of their world. Most of my crew are people that have come from very tough backgrounds, spent time on the streets and still doing it tough. And in this way I hope to provide them with at least an interesting and somewhat unique experience as we go about making this film. We'll be filming on the streets of Melbourne, and some of the scenes will be filmed at night, and a couple will be filmed in very wet weather. It should be quite challenging and very interesting. I wish to thank you for watching this video, and please take a look at last year's project. It will give you an idea of the angle I'm coming at, and also show that I've got some skill in putting this type of stuff together. being homeless is tough, and it takes its toll. And we know from studies that the longer people are homeless, the harder it is for them to come back. The simple fact is we need more houses. And we also need to make sure that people survive long enough to get off the streets, because sadly some don't. Also, please consider, if it was you on the street tonight, would you want your story heard? So how's your day been, man?
Bit weird.
Bit weird?
How'd yours start out?
It hasn't been too bad. It's, it's the way it is.
How about now?
It's getting weirder.
You right for the night?